Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome for today's continuous discussion on the book called Nectar of Devotion. So today is 4th October 2025. So we gathered here to discuss on chapter 20, part 2. So as you know that we have already passed through the first division, first 19 chapter. In the first 19 chapter தான் வந்துட்டு usually பக்தி சாஸ்திரியில் வந்து படிப்பாங்க. And of course, some devotees also have studied the entire full முழுமையா அந்த Nectar of Devotion படிச்சுட்டாங்க. But still, இன்னும் மட்டுப்படலை அப்படி இப்படி சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. இன்ஃபேக்ட் எனக்கும் தான் ஐம் ஸ்டில் நாட் so good. ஸோ அதனால தான் உங்களோட சேர்ந்து இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்ம டீட்டெயில் ஸ்டடீஸ் we going to continue on chapter 20. சரியா? So chapter 20 is going to be very interesting and 21 is going to be even more interesting. அன்னைக்கு சும்மா ஒரு கணக்கு பண்ணி பார்த்தேன். எவ்வளவு நாள் எடுக்கும் நம்ம முடிக்கிறதுன்னு chapter 3 and chapter 4. ஓகே, இது ஸோ பார்ட் 1, பார்ட் 2, பார்ட் 3, பார்ட் 4. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கறதுக்கு வந்து பார்க்க போனா அட்லீஸ்ட் எண்ட் ஆஃப் ஜனவரி ஆயிரும் நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ ஃபெப்ரவரியிலேருந்து நம்ம என்ன செய்யலாம், இப்போ கிருஷ்ணா பிளெஸிங் இப்போ எவ்வளோ சீக்கிரம் முடிப்போம்னு தெரியாது. ஆனால் ஒன்ஸ் முடிஞ்சோடனே நம்ம என்ன செய்யலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன்னா, லெட்ஸ் கோ இன் டு டீட்டெயில் ஸ்டடீஸ் ஆஃப் பக்தி, ஸ்ரீமத் பாகவதம். சரியா? ஸோ இந்த ஸ்ரீமத் பாகவதம் டீட்டெயில் ஸ்டடீஸ் நம்ம ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டோம்னா, இப்போ சக்கி தேவி சக்கி சம்பகா மாதாஜி அண்ட் சாஸ்வதா பிரபு அண்ட் நீங்களா வந்து வைஷ்ணவ கிருபா பிரபு also, ஓகே, நீங்களா என்ன செய்யலாம்னா யூ கேன் ஸ்டார்ட் ஸ்டடிங் பக்தி வைபவா. ஸோ பக்தி வைபவா கோர்ஸ் வந்துட்டு அன்னைக்கு குரு மகாராஜ் கூட சொன்னாங்க நீங்களா செய்யணும்னு. அப்போதான் ஐடியா வந்துச்சு, சரி நானும் பக்தி வைபவா வந்து சுமட்டிவ் ஸ்டடீஸ் அண்ட் பக்தி வேதாந்தா அதை செய்யலாம்னு ஒரு ஐடியா பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ இது ஒரு நல்ல சான்ஸ். ஸோ இது வந்து என்ன செய்யலாம்னா நம்மளா சேர்ந்து இதை படிச்சுக்கிட்டே ஸோ வி கேன் ஸ்டார்ட் டூ ஆஃப் த டிகிரி பக்தி வைபவா பக்தி வேதாந்தா. அட்லீஸ்ட் அந்த கோர்ஸ் எடுத்தோம்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு வருஷம் 2 வருஷம் கூட போகலாம். பட் எனிவே லெட்ஸ் see. சரியா? ஸோ எனிவே நம்ம ஆரம்பிக்காத மதிக்கு லெட்ஸ் டூ இன்வோகேஷன் பிரேயர். ஓம் அஜ்ஞானஞ்சன ஷலாகய ஸ்ரீ குருவே நமः. கடாமயம் தடாதி ஸ்வபரம் வைஷ்ணவம்ச்ச ஸ்ரீரூபம் ரகுநாதன்விதம் தம் சஜீவம் சாவதூத பரிஜன சகித சஹகண லலிதா ஸ்ரீ விஷபிருஷ்டாய பூதலே ஆச்சாரிய பாதாய நிதாய கமதாரிணே நம. ஓம் விஷ்ணு कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले नमस्ते सरस शून्यवादी पाशात्य पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्री वर्षभना विडे विरहितये कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः. माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूप नुग भक्तिर श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते. नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्ताय दीनातारिणे रूपानुगा विरुदापसिदांत हरिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबर संबोधे पादांबुजायते नमः. नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुगवरायते गौरवीर्भव भूमेस्तु निरस सज्जन प्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथायते नमः. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ओम महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतसे नमः. पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकम्. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते. ताप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शरि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So, as we, okay. So, thank you all for coming. Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu, Saki Champakalata Mataji, and Shashwata Prabhu, Keshavan Prabhu, and Karpia Saraswati Mataji. So, I'm so happy and grateful to all of you for joining us today. So, today we are gathered here on the 4th October 2025. Okay, 4th October 2025 on Saturday evening, after Ekadasi. So, today we are meeting here, gathered here, and to discuss on Nectar of Devotion Chapter 20. Chapter 20. As I explained before, we have already completed the first 19th chapter, the essential chapter, the first part, or we call it as the first division. Okay, now let me see how the thing north, south, east, west, right? North, south, east, and west. Okay, we start from eastern, north. So now we are going to the Northern Ocean. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, part 2 is actually the Northern Ocean. Can anyone got any idea? What is the ocean? Let me draw and see. Okay, we are talking about north, south. Okay, if the north of Malaysia, south, east is on my right or left? Northeast, southwest. All right, east supposed to be on my right, and east and west. Okay, west is on my left. So that means we are starting from Eastern Ocean. We are going towards Southern Ocean. Okay. So anyway, let me verify again. The second part is in south or north. Okay. Anybody got any idea? Just give me a second. North Ocean. North Ocean. Okay. Eastern Ocean. Okay. So okay. Okay. I got it. Found it here. All right. So now we are studying that Nectar of Devotion. So first we started off at Eastern Ocean. Okay. Eastern Ocean means, all right. So we talk about devotional service in practice, sadhana bhakti. All right. Sadhana bhakti. And today we are going into Southern Ocean. Okay. So it's going to, yes, correct, clockwise, because usually in our calculation we start from the north, right? North, east, south, and west, right? But here it's starting from the east and going to the southern. So now we are going into Southern Ocean. The Southern Ocean, in a summary, is described how devotion matures in spiritual emotion and ecstatic symptoms, all right? Or devotional service in ecstasy, bhava. Then when we go to the third division, we are talking on Western Ocean, devotional service in pure of Godhead, prema bhakti. All right, explain highest stage of love for Krishna. And at last, Northern Ocean, default division, stimulation of ecstatic love. All right. So now we are in Southern Ocean, which is called devotional service in ecstasy. All right. So we are we are still in the place we call as at the introduction. Those who got a book, please, we are in page 152. Okay, page 152, the last paragraph. You get it. Okay, so what we have read, okay, now we are, okay, we're going to start here. Kintu Prema, okay, you see, okay, just a quick recap. So the quick recap, okay, we have started off in chapter 20. The title is Transcendental Mellow, all right? So we talk about Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti, Dakshina Vibhagaha. So now we are starting from the chapter 2 or division 2, okay, Southern Ocean. Okay, so in this in the second division, the author offers a respectful obeisance into Sanatan. So we have studied about that. What is Sanatan? There's two interpretation. One is Sri Krishna himself, okay, and secondly also can be called as Sanatan Goswami. So what is Sanatan? Can anyone tell me? Those who have attended the session before? I think none of you came, huh? All right. All right. Anyway, so Sanatan means, there's another meaning of Sanatan means is what? Beauty. All right. Because he's naturally so beautiful. Okay. Because Krishna is naturally so beautiful. That's why he also known as Sanatan. There's one devotee in Ipoh. His initiated name is Sanatan Kannaya Das. All right. So Sanatan means the beautiful Kannaya. Okay. So that's thing. Then in this division, okay, the author wants to describe the general symptoms of transcendental mellow. Okay, the general symptoms. Okay, you want to explain about the general symptoms, but of course later we're going to go into the real details. Okay, so what is the general symptoms that you're talking about? Okay, number one is, all right, we studied about Vibhava. Second is Anubhava. Third is Satvika Bhava. Four is Vyabhichari Bhava. And number five is Thai Bhava. Okay, there are 5 different modes are there. All right, so what is Vibhava means? Special symptoms or causes of ecstasy. Okay, number 2, Anubhava means subsequent ecstasy. All right, just like in Tamil also called Anubhavangal, Anubhava. Subsequent ecstasy. Number 3, Satvika Bhava, that is constitutional or existential ecstasy. Okay, what does that mean? Satvika Bhava. Maybe Vibhava and Anubhava may be very hard for us to remember. But what do you think about Satvika Bhava? Constitutional or existential ecstasy. So that means when we start to find out what is our constitution, that means now, okay, now I realize that my constitutional nature is the servant of Krishna. All right. And I found my, so that means when you find that secret, we are in great ecstasy. All right. I believe that all of us are in great ecstasy. Yes or not? Because after so many millions of birth and death, at last we found the secret of success of how we can go back home, back to Godhead. So in the search of the secret of success, we found out what is our constitutional position. So what is the constitutional? Number 1, constitutional position. I am the eternal servant of Krishna. Okay. My internet is not stable. Just give me a second. Why this? All right. Now I think now it's better. So now, okay. Now that, so I find out what is my constitutional position. Then after that, later, when you start to realize your, what is that? Yeah, what is the word? Your original self, Swarupa Siddhi. Okay, we all understand, we studied about that Swarupa Siddhi, that to find out what is your real nature in devotional service, right? So that thing is called Satvika Bhava. Number 4 is Vyabhichari Bhava. That means aggressive ecstasy. Okay, the ecstasy that you cannot control yourself become very aggressive. Number 5, we talk about Sthai Bhav or fervent or continuous ecstasy. That means fervent or continuous ecstasy means you're always in ecstasy. Okay, always in ecstasy. All right, all these things. Okay, the Sthai Bhava is one of the symptoms that we saw in Lord Chaitanya. When he studied Chaitanya Charitam, we see whenever he hear the word Govinda, when he hear the word Rama, he goes crazy. All right, that kind of ecstasy. All right, so now another thing that we also understood there very nicely, that the word rasa, okay, it's also understood by different person in different way. All right, because in English they couldn't translate the word, so therefore the word is translated as mellow. Okay, so therefore Prabhupada says we follow their footstep. Then another thing that we also studied about, so particular loving mood, attitude, relish in exchange or love, then is called rasa or mellow. That means particular loving mood or attitude. Okay, there's another thing that I like to say. Okay. There's a specific taste. Generally, the mellow is explained by chanting. So how we generally, then Prabhupada is generally we experience mellow by chanting, hearing, and worshipping in the temple. The relishing of the tradition. I want to show you something. Where is it? Okay. Anyway, I can't find it where. But there's another thing also explained. The combination of mellow. Okay, combination of mellow. So that means sometimes we experience the rasa in combination. Okay, we enjoy the rasa in combination. Sometimes we feel this rasa, then after that we feel another rasa, then the third rasa. When all these rasas combine, it create a kind of extraordinary kind of excitement. Extraordinary kind of excitement. So example I gave the day yesterday was, sometimes we see the yogurt got a different taste, different mellow, different rasa. Then you take a mango, you peel the mango, you take the mango puri out. The mango puri has a different kind of taste, this different kind of nectar. Then another thing, you take a honey, it also an individual taste, nectar, right? And you take a little salt, also that thing. So you put all and combine and blend it. You create a kind of nectarian lassi. Okay, then you combine honey, you combine mango puri, you combine yogurt and a little salt. It creates a kind of ecstatic. So that's why I said how the few kinds of rasa combine, it also creates so much of ecstasy. Right? So that's the thing that we have read until we understood yesterday. So now let's look at the following one. We are looking at the page 152, the last paragraph. Kintu prema vibhavadyai swalper nitopi anis yasim vibhavanadya vastantu sadhya asvadyatam vrajet. Right? So now it's mentioned like this. So being encouraged. So being encouraged in such a feeling. Okay. So once you're encouraged with such a nice feeling, one who is constantly engaged in discharging the regulative principle. Okay. Again, please understand. Once first we being encouraged by the feeling of being good. No, sometimes I feel very good. So I'm very encouraged. I want to follow. Okay. Then after that, what do? You constantly engage. You not engage whenever you feel like it. Not you only engage in devotion only on Sunday. All right. You constantly engage. So constant engagement is very important. Yeah. So the constant engagement is very, very important. Not just engage in devotional service whenever you feel like it. Okay. Or like sometimes you see, there's a devotees will come to the temple during a Sunday program, or sometimes in the other place Saturday program. So they only engage in devotional service only on Saturday or Sunday. That's not a way. All right. Because of course there's no fault in that. But now when you want to engage, when you want to achieve the real rasa or the mellow, you have to engage in devotional service constantly. That's why we say, no matter what, you should not miss your chanting every day. All right. Sometimes they say, okay, I miss my chanting today, so tomorrow I can top up. Okay, I chant maybe today 10 rounds. So tomorrow, 16 plus 2, I do 22 rounds to cover yesterday's round. No, that's not the idea. The idea of course, your covering is there, of course, but that's not encouraged. Okay, it's not encouraged. So you must practice your sadhan bhakti at least on a daily basis. It is not a weekly affair. It is a daily routine. And somehow or other, we should think and aspire that we should be engaging devotional service not only 2 hours during the chanting. We should try to make it 24 hours. They say, hey, I need to go to work. How can I simply think about 24 hours? I got a lot of other activities. Yes. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3, Karma Yoga. Don't expect any result. Surrender all the result to me. So that means what we have spoke in Bhagavad Gita before during the Gita Gyan program. I spoke about this many times, right? What we say. First thing I wake up in the morning, I offer my day to Krishna. My dear Krishna, during Mangalarti, I'm today is say like 4th October 2025, Saturday, wonderful day, Puratasi, month of Puratasi, Saturday. On this auspicious day, I am offering my day at your lotus feet. Please accept it. Today, whatever good or bad, whatever things that favorable, or don't say good or bad, whichever things is favorable or unfavorable, I just surrender to you. This is the day I offer it to you. I offer my life. I offer this 24 hours. Until tomorrow, Sunday, I offer this day to you. All right. Then after that, you go to work. When you drive, you start to see anything that people shout, people honk and everything. You just understand that that is part of that colorful things that Krishna have created for you for the day. If not, the life will be monotonous and boring. So there is some kind of fascinating thing. People are honking, running, and like stuck in the jam. All right, this is the day Krishna wanted me because Krishna wants me to meditate at him. All right. Then you go to work, you do your job, you come back. Then end of the month, you get your salary. All right. That say, okay, this is the salary that I got by serving Krishna. I mean, this thing. So I'm offering my fruit of my labor to Krishna. So first day, every day you offer your day to Krishna. Then after that, you be very Krishna conscious thing. You offer food to Krishna, eat prasadam. You chant your rounds daily. Then end of the month, when you get your salary, you take the salary and offer some. All right. For this kind of propagating of Krishna consciousness, distributing books. All right. Maintaining temple. A sacrifice for Krishna. All right. So when you sacrifice your income for Krishna, what happened? All your 30 days of labor, hard labor job, it becomes devotional service. All right. Because the result of your job is the money. The result of your duty is money. The result of your business transaction is end of the day, your salary, your income. So you take some and you offer to Krishna. What happened? See, when you cook at home, you don't bring the whole pot of rice, whole pot of dal to Krishna. Come. No, you just fry, you just make one big pot of rice. You just take the pot in front of Krishna and offer to Krishna. We don't do that. We take a small little portion and offer to Krishna. When we offer the small little portion to Krishna, the entire preparation turns into prasadam. Similarly, when you start to get your salary, you take a small portion of your salary, you offer to Krishna as sacrifice, your entire income becomes prasadam. And the attempt of working towards that income, that is a 30 days job, 8 to 5, on the way, getting ready, getting fired by your boss or you fire others, all the transaction, everything become karmic free. All become karmic free. There's no action reaction because everything has turned into sadhan bhakti. So that's one way of we offering everything to Krishna, right? So that's why here it says being encouraged by such a feeling, one who is constantly engaged in discharging the regulative principle, right, of devotional service. So that means discharging. That means every day they are following the sadhan bhakti, Vaidhi sadhan, regulative principle, in such a way to please the Supreme Lord. He develops two principles in compelling force. Okay, he develops two principles. There'll be two principles is developed here, which come under the heading of Vibhava. Okay, under the heading of Vibhava, we're going to study that. The two principles of compelling force, if we are always constantly engaged in discharging devotional service, all right, as discharging Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti, regulative principle of devotional service. So there's two principles developed, two principles developed. That two principles come under the title of Vibhava. Thus, one enjoys transcendental bliss. Okay, are you all following me on this? I hope I'm not confusing. Is it okay? You got it? If not, I can explain again. You all got the idea?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, yes. Mataji, Sadguna Mataji. Yes, K7. Okay, good. K7, I want to ask you a question, K7.
Yes, Prabhu.
What is Vibhava? What happened? Sadguna Mataji, what is Vibhava? You just say you got it?
No, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Compelling cause, Prabhu.
What is that?
Principles of compelling cause.
What is that? Yes, develop compelling principle, compelling force of what? When? Okay, look at this. When you constantly engage. Okay, K7?
We develop ecstasy of love.
No. No. Constantly engage in discharging regulative principle. Vaidhi sadhana.
Then it causes ecstasy.
These will cause the ecstasy.
Yes.
So the root point is constantly engage in discharging the regulative principle, Vaidhi sadhana. And these will create
Ecstasy.
the compelling force that come under the vibhava. Yeah, this is the cause of the vibhava. Okay?
Yeah.
And what is that?
Prabhu.
You got it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. All right. Now you got it, huh? Okay. So I hope everyone got it. Please thumbs up if anyone. Don't worry, I won't ask you a question. இத பத்தி ஐயோ எனக்கு புரியுதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு திரும்பி கூப்பிட்டுருவாரே கவலைப்படாதீங்க. I just want to find out you got it. Okay. Good. Another one more person who got it. I can understand. Okay. K7, of course, you understand. Other than K7 and Sadguna Mataji. Nandari Mataji one. Who's the second one who understand? Okay, Vraja Prem. Great. All right, good. So I believe that you all understand. So we understand Vibhava. Remember this for life. Vibhava means when we constantly engage in discharging devotional service. Okay. How we discharge a devotional service? By regulative principle. Okay. How many regulative principles are there? Can anyone help me with that? How many regulative principles are there?
Oh.
Sorry? 4. Do we have 4 regulative principles? What is, okay, sorry, I shouldn't ask that. What is that regulative principle in Vaidhi sadhana? How many of them? How many are there? Do you understand, Mataji?
64.
Correct. So, we have here, okay, we have here how many? 64. Number 1, we got 64. 64 qualities. Okay. Then from 64, okay, first in order to start with 54, what do you do? The first thing? Okay. So, 64, the next step, okay, we can't follow the 64, it's okay. So, we must at least follow the, how many?
9.
9, very good. So, we follow the 9. But among the 9, which is the, then, okay, but before you go to the 9, you must follow at least
3.
Huh? How many? How many?
3, Prabhu. 3, Prabhu.
3. Okay. I heard 8. All right, 3. But 3. But what is the most essential?
Chanting.
What is the most?
Chanting.
How many?
1.
Chanting 1.
1. So number 1. So number 1 is the most essential, and we call this as Harinam Japa. So the chanting is the essential. All right. So now we no, when you look at this, okay. So when you look at this, first we got 64 qualities, okay, under Vaidhi sadhana. In order to achieve the 54, what is the thing? You have to follow 9. In order to, before that, you do the 3, but the essential is 1. So you do 1, you could, then you slowly, first you chant. Then after that, you smaranam kirtanam. That means hearing and chanting and remembering. Okay, you remember. After once you perfect your number 1 chanting, that you could able to go to number 3. You can add on another 2 principles. That means remembering and listening. Then after 3, what you do? You slowly, that's when you can start to practice the other 6. All right, other 6. That means vandanam. That means worshipping the deity, paying obeisance and all this. So once you perfect your 9, then naturally, raga nuga, naturally, spontaneously, you could able to do the 64. and you become perfect in that 64. Okay. So once you become perfect in the 64, what happened? In this perfection, this is the time that you will develop this thing called, you develop the compelling force, develop the true principle. Okay. Once you can do that, what is the true, which comes under the heading of who? Vibhava. You got it? So once you achieve that, what happens if you can follow? Just by chanting alone can give you so much of happiness. Just by listening and remembering can give you tremendous happiness. All right. So this is the example that what we have said yesterday, right? So one rasa, it has one. So you combine with another two, it creates even more mellow. Okay, like Vibhava and Vyabhachari. Then Vibhava and join with Anubhava. Like that, there's so many kind of mellows, rasa, taste. So when you combine it, it even become more tastier. Example I gave yesterday, when you take a yogurt, it has a different taste. When you take a honey, it has a taste. When you take a mango and peel out all the mango, the mango puri, and a salt and different taste. What happens if you combine all these four? It's going to create amazing taste. Honey, mango puri, yogurt, and little salt. Amazing. You can feel heaven there. Right? So when you want is this thing, but when you combine all, it can. But what happens if you one day if you could combine all the 64? What will happen to you? That's when you start to experience this kind of feeling we call the transcendental bliss. What is bliss means? Bliss means that means you're so used to happiness. Happiness is flickering. Today I can be happy, tomorrow I'm not happy. Right? Happiness. Happiness, I need to have a reason to be happy. Suddenly I strike some money, I'm happy. Suddenly I got a deal, I got happy. Suddenly I fall in love, I got happy. Suddenly today my wife cooked a very nice prasadam, lunch prasadam, I become very happy. It has a reason. But tomorrow if she makes some mistake in your cooking, abase, you will be very unhappy. But when that happiness become spontaneous, when the happiness become habit, the happiness that cannot be described, that means your kind of happiness, that means you're not expressing by giving a big smile, you're not jumping up and down in jubilant, you're not joyful, like that, but you are somehow or other feel that contentment, the happiness in your heart. And that something that cannot be explained, we call that as bliss. Imagine if you can follow all the 64, you will be very blissful. Yeah. Right? I hope you all remember this, okay? Forever. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Okay. Now, Atra Vibhavadi Samanya Lakshanam Ye Krishna Bhakta Murali Nadadya Hetavorate Karya Bhuta Smitadyascha Tatastau Stabdatadayaha Nirvedadya Sahayascha Tenyaya Rasa Bhavane Vibhava Anubhavascha Satvika Vyabhicharina. So there's a talk of Vibhava, Anubhava, Satvika, and Vyabhicharina, right? So now let's look at this verse. Now they say, there are several origin of cause, several origin. Okay, the thing that originate from several causes, because of few causes. For this is compulsive love for Krishna. All right. Okay, now let me explain again. There are several origin of cause. Origin another Moola Karanam. சரியா? 7 Moola Karanam இருக்கு. We have all Indians here. Okay, then I speak little in Tamil. Right. 7 okay, பல சில என்ன சொல்றது? மூல காரணம். சரியா? சில மூல காரணம் இருக்கு. ஓகே, என்ன மூல காரணம்? இந்த மூல காரணம் மூலமா நம்ம கிருஷ்ணரை வந்து ரொம்ப ஓவரா அவரை நேசிக்கிறோம். ஓகே, there are several origin. அதுல மூல காரணம். ஓகே, இப்போ உதாரணம், இப்போ வந்து இன்னைக்கு நான் சந்தோஷமா இருக்கேன், திருப்தியா இருக்கேன். சரி, ஏன் இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கீங்க? என்ன விஷயம்? அப்பா ஏன் கேக்குறீங்க? வைஃப் இன்னைக்கு பயங்கரமான பிரியாணி சமைச்சு அதுக்கு வந்து இந்த பிளாக்கா 2 அங்க செஞ்சு அட்டாடாடாடா என்ன சாப்பாடு அட்டாடா. அப்ப இந்த சந்தோஷத்தோட மூல காரணம் என்ன? அருமையான பிரசாதம். ஓகே, மூல காரணம். அதே நேரத்துல வந்துட்டு இன்னைக்கு வந்துட்டு இன்னைக்கு வந்து என்ன ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கேன், என்ன விஷயம்? அப்ப இதாச்சும் ஒரு காரணம் இருக்கும். மூல காரணம் இருக்கு. சந்தோஷமா இருக்கிறது, வேதனைப்படுறது எல்லாத்துக்கும். ஆனா பல சம்பவங்கள் இருக்கு. பல விதமான மூல காரணங்கள் இருக்கு. என்ன மூல காரணம்? கிருஷ்ணரை ரொம்ப நேசிக்கிறதுக்கு, ரொம்ப அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சி ஆழமா நேசிக்கிறதுக்கு சில மூல காரணங்கள் இருக்கு. நான் சொன்னது புரிஞ்சிருச்சா? Who don't understand? It's very important. Who don't understand? Everyone understand? If you don't understand, please ask question. I love people asking question. Stop me because we are not rushing. Everyone, thumbs up. Okay, great. All right. So let's look at that several origin of or causes that compulsive love for Krishna. Okay, that is how number one is such as Krishna himself. Okay, one is origin is Krishna himself. ரெண்டாவது வந்துட்டு devotees of Krishna. Number three is Krishna playing on the flute. All right, the effect sometimes loving and sometimes stunted. All right, so there is several. ஓகே, தமிழை சொல்றேன். சில மூல காரணங்கள் இருக்கு நம்ம கிருஷ்ணரை அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சி நேசிக்கிறது. ஒண்ணு வந்து கிருஷ்ணர் மூலியமாக, ரெண்டாவது கிருஷ்ணா பக்தர்கள் பாகவதர்கள் மூலியமாக, மூணாவது என்ன, கிருஷ்ணர் வந்து புல்லாங்குழல் வாசிப்பது மூலியமாக. சரியா? சோ அது மாதிரி இருக்கு. இது ரொம்ப போனா ரொம்ப எங்கேயோ ஓடிரும். எனிவே சும்மா சொல்றேன். இந்த ஒரு புல்லாங்குழல் கதை சொன்னீங்கன்னா, சில நேரத்துல கிருஷ்ணா வந்துட்டு அந்த புல்லாங்குழல் வாசிக்கும் போது நோட்ஸ் இருக்கும். 1 2 3 4 அந்த ஹோல்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல. ஹோல்ல வாசிச்சா தெரியும் மாடு, அவரோட பசுக்கள் ஓடி வரும். ரெண்டாவது நோட்டை வாசிச்சா கோபியர்கள் ஓடி வருவாங்க. மூணாவது நோட்டை வாசிச்சா யாரு யாரு இந்த ராதாராணி ஓடி வருவாங்க. நாலாவது நோட்டை வாசிச்சா ஊருக்கே சொல்றாங்க, ஊரே ஓடி வருவாங்க. சோ அதுக்கு வந்து அவர் அந்த நோட்லயே அந்த புல்லாங்குழலே அவர் வாசிச்சுட்டே நிறைய விஷயத்த சொல்லுவாரு. சரியா? சோ சில நேரத்துல புல்லாங்குழல கேட்டோன்னே ராதாராணி இந்த மதுரை இந்த விருண்டாவனத்துல இருக்கிற மக்களுங்க எல்லாமே அப்படி ஜேம் ஆயிருவாங்க. என்னடா சத்தம் இதுன்னு அல்ல, அப்படியே பேசாம இருந்துருவாங்க. அப்படியே ஜேம் ஆயிருவாங்க. ஒண்ணுமே செய்ய முடியாம போயிடும். கையும் வளாது அது வந்து அப்ப இதே மாதிரி 3 விதமா இந்த விஷயத்த நம்ம ஆழமா பார்க்கலாம் இங்க. Alright? Okay. So there are 3 different types. One is Krishna himself. When suddenly Krishna appears, you become stunned. Second is devotee of Krishna, speak about Krishna, you will become stunned. Third is when Krishna play the flute, finish. Okay. So what is the effect? இதோட காரணம் என்ன? இதோட காரணம் என்ன? effect வந்து என்ன? Sometimes loving, ரொம்ப ஆழமா இன்பம், காதல், நேசிப்பு வந்துரும். இல்லாட்டி இரண்டாவது என்னன்னா ஸ்டண்ட் ஆயிருவாங்க, அப்படியே ஜேம் ஆயிருவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி அப்படி ஜேம். They'll become jam, stunt. சரியா? I hope you all are following me. Please, if you don't get it, stop me immediately. You have right to stop me. Don't feel ஐயா மத்தவங்களா என்ன நினைப்பாங்க, அதை பத்தில நீங்க அடுத்தவங்களை பத்தி கவலைப்பட வேணாம். நம்ம சுயநலவாதியா இருப்போம். இந்த ஞானத்தை பெறுகிறது once and for all நம்ம முயற்சி பண்றோம். இதோட எப்ப நம்ம இந்த நெக்டார் ஆஃப் டிவோஷன் வரும்னு தெரியாது. நீங்க பாப்பீங்க, ஆனா எனக்கு வந்து தெரியாது. நான் திருப்பி எப்ப அதை பார்த்து எடுத்து பார்க்க. ஆனா இப்ப இந்த வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிற மட்டும் கவனமா பார்த்து டக்குனு புரியல டக்குனு கேட்போம், திருப்பி நம்ம ஆழமா அதை விசாரிக்கலாம்.
Give an example for stunted.
Stunted, like for instance, you see in some of the pastimes in Vrindavan, what happened when Krishna started to play the flute, everybody became like jammed up. They were like they have not heard something which is so nice. The devotee, they become stunned, means you go into a great ecstasy.
மலைச்சி போய் நிக்கிறது பிரபு.
மலைச்சி போறதா தமிழ்ல? ஓகே, மலைச்சி போறது. Alright, or in other words also we can say stunted means samadhi. Alright, samadhi means what? You are in trance. Yeah, also can, yeah, trance. Samadhi is trance, yes, correct. So in other words, like, you know, sometimes Prabhu, see, when you practice medicine, right, when suddenly you need to convey some bad news to the family member, how they will react? You know, they'll become like not moving. You understand, Prabhu?
Yeah, I get it, Prabhu.
So sometimes what you need to give a tight up. Oh, they become like jammed. the whole system start to stop functioning because of severe shock. But this is severe ecstasy. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, bro. All right. So what happened like doing this? So the effects sometimes loving and sometimes stunted. So now Prabhupada is explaining here something which is more interesting. There are 8 transcendental symptoms. Please mark your book. There are 8 symptoms. 8 symptoms. Okay. So check and balance whether you got any of the symptoms. All right. So when the symptoms happen, don't be like, hey, why I'm feeling so differently, so weird. No, you must know. So there are 8 transient symptoms found in the body during ecstasy. Sometimes we must know this because we should not get carried away by some bogus people who are pretending. Okay. Or, okay, we don't say bogus people. Even a devotee sometimes, when they start to pretend like crying, we must be able to identify it. Why you need to identify? Not to find any fault. We are not trying to find any fault. We are doing scientific studies of being a pure devotee. Right? So we must understand. So what is the thing that thing? Is it really true? Is it or is the person is trying to like get some attraction? Want to be like, I don't want to mention further. I believe you understand what I'm talking about. All right. So the 8 transient, which is body, found in the body during ecstasy. Okay, found in the body during ecstasy. And all of them are possible only when the mixture of the above. All right. So that means when a person, the 8 transient symptoms is only possible. The ecstasy is possible when all the above mentioned vibhava, anubhava, sattvika, vyabhichari bhav, all these kind of bhava are start to mixed up. All right, when you take all the ingredient, when you start to blend everything as a lassi and you start to drink, wow, the wow feeling will start. All right, when the mixture of above. I hope you are following me on this. Okay, so by the mixture of 5, which is mentioned in the 5 ecstatic division, the ecstatic division we discussed just now. Okay, vibhava, anubhava, sattvika, vyabhichari. What's the next one? Yeah, just my vibhavadi, samanya, lakshanam. All right. So like that, we can have that, the 5 ecstatic symptoms. All right. So without, all right. Now the next thing is we understand like this. Okay. Now, without some mixture, that means when there's no mixture of these 5 ecstatic principles, one cannot relish transcendental bliss. So without some mixture, when these 5 ecstatic things are not mixing up, it is not possible to relish that transcendental bliss. What are the 5 principles here? Right? What is the 5 things? Okay. Where is it? Okay. Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika Bhava, Vyabhichari Bhava, and Sthayi Bhava. Okay. I hope you all can start to memorize these things. We have Vibhava, special symptoms, Anubhava, subsequent symptoms, Sattvika Bhava, Vyabhichari Bhava, aggressive ecstasy, and Sthayi Bhava, fervent continuous ecstasy. Okay. So it's mentioned here, if you don't have any of these 5, okay, without some mixture of these 5 ecstatic principles, one cannot relish the transcendental bliss. So we have to have all that 5 experiences. All right. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. Tatra vibhava. Now we are talking about vibhava. Okay, vibhava. Tatra jneya vibhavastu pratyasvadana hetava te dvidalambana eke tatei dipana pare. The cause or basis of relishing transcendental mellow. Okay, first is what? The first step is the cause. Okay, the cause or basis. The cause of this thing or the basis for relishing, for enjoying. Relishing means enjoying. Transcendental mellow. Okay, is exactly what we mean by vibhava. Okay, you all got it? So the cause or the basis. அதோட காரணம், மூல காரணம் இல்ல அதோட அடிப்படை. மூல காரணம், அடிப்படை. அனுபவிக்கிறதுக்கு எதை? டிரான்ஸ்டென்டல் மேலோ, இந்த பிரேமத்தை, இந்த பிரேமத்தை அனுபவிக்கிறதுக்கு is exactly what we mean by vibhava. இதுதான் விபாவா என்று அர்த்தம். Vibhav. Okay. Now go to the next one. But this vibhava is divided into two. Okay. This vibhava is divided into how many? Divided into two. Vibhava என்னது? The cause or the basis. அதாவது மூல காரணம், அடிப்படை. ஓகே, இது விபாவா. ஆனா விபாவாவுக்கு வந்து இது என்னது? ரெண்டா பிரிக்கப்பட்டது. ஒன்னு என்னது? நேம்லி பேசிக், அடிப்படை. ரெண்டாவது impelling or impetus. Alright, impetus. Alright, let's look at this. Impelling or impetus. Let me try to get you in a simple English. Impetus or impelling. Both come from the idea of driving or moving something forward, but they are used slightly different. Impetus means, impetus means what? Let me see. A force, motivation, or reason that causes something to happen, to move. The simple term is the push of inspiration behind an action. All right. So first thing is impetus. All right. Impetus is okay, let me underline. All right. Why these things color? This color always come up. Okay. Number one is impetus. What is impetus means? Impetus means a kind of motivation. Okay. Motivation that you want to go for it. Inspire. Yes, I want it. Like now we all are motivated. We all are so motivated. We want to go into that level of prema. Okay. Impetus, motivation, right? Okay. Now, impelling means what? To drive or urge. Okay. Vidamuyarchi. Drive or urge, push someone to do something, often from within. Okay. The act of pushing. Okay. That means உள்ளுக்கு இருக்கிற motivation செஞ்சிருவோம். Let's do it. Let's go for it. All right. Like now, Saki Champakalata Mataji and Saswata Prabhu is traveling from Johor Bahru to Pulai for a Radha Yatra. And they stuck in a massive jam. By the time they reach, I think going to be at least 9 o'clock. Yes or not, Mataji? 9 மணி ஆயிரமா போய் சேர்றதுக்கு? Saki Mataji, are you there?
ஒரு 8:30 ஆயிரும் bro. இப்பதான் clear ஆச்சு. 2 hours jam.
Okay. 2 hours jam, 8:30 ஆயிரும். அங்க போனா என்ன நடக்க போகுது?
பகவான் வந்திருப்பாரு, நம்ம தர்ஷனம் எடுத்துட்டு பிரசாதம் தான்.
தர்ஷனம் எடுத்துட்டு பிரசாதம். இதுக்கு நீங்க வந்து 2.5 மணி நேரம் மாட்டிட்டு போறீங்க, ரைட்?
ஆமா பிரபு.
நீங்க நினைச்சா போய் திரும்பி போயிடலாம் தானே?
அப்ப கூட எங்க பிரபுவோட கேட்டேன், போலாம் பரவாயில்ல வான்னாரு.
அதான் இப்ப நினைச்சா நீங்க திரும்பி போயிடலாம், ரைட்? திரும்பி வீட்டுக்கு போயிடலாம். ஆனா என்ன, ஏன் போறீங்க? இதான் impelling.
Thank you பிரபு.
வந்துட்டோம், போயிருவோம். புரியுதா மாதாஜி? விடாமுயற்சி. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம இதை செஞ்சுதான் ஆகணும், இன்னைக்கு சாதிச்சுதான் ஆகணும். impelling or impetus அதான். இது வந்து ஒரு மோட்டிவேஷன். நம்ம அங்க போறது என்ன? நம்ம போறக்குள்ள இந்த ஜெகநாதர் அந்த ஆலயத்தை வந்து சேர்ந்துருவாங்க. அந்த சிலை மூர்த்தியை தூக்கி வச்சிருவாங்க. கீர்த்தன் கூட முடிஞ்சிடலாம். புரியுதா? ஆனா நான் போறது எதுக்கு? டிவோட்டி அசோசியேஷன், 4 பக்தர்களை பார்க்க போறோம், 4 பக்தர்கிட்ட வணக்கம் சொல்ல போறோம், அந்த ஜெகநாதரை பார்த்து அவர் உளுந்து வணங்க போறோம். கடைசியில அவருக்கு ஜெகநாதன் செஞ்ச நெய் வைத்தியம், அந்த மகா பிரசாதத்தை நல்லா அனுபவிச்சுட்டு வர போறோம். சரியா? இதுக்காக 2 மணி நேரம் 3 மணி நேரம் இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, போய் நம்ம செய்யறதே செய்யறோம். அப்ப நான் செஞ்சே ஆவன்னு சொல்லிட்டு செய்யறாங்க தெரியுமா, அந்த மோட்டிவேஷன். அதான் வந்து impelling or impetus. ஓகே, புரிஞ்சிருச்சா? அப்ப இதுல என்ன அர்த்தம்? இதுல என்ன செய்யறதுன்னா இந்த மாதிரி. ஓகே, இப்ப என்னன்னா, சோ விபாவாக்கு 2 அர்த்தம் இருக்கு. ஒண்ணு வந்து அடிப்படை, 2வது வந்து விடாமுயற்சி. மோட்டிவேஷன் என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழ்ல? அதான் இங்கதான் இருக்கு, இதுலயே கேட்கலாமே.
ஊக்குவிப்பு.
ஊக்குவிப்பா? இன் தமிழ் இந்த சேட் ஜிபிடி வந்ததுல இருந்து ஒரு பெரிய பாக்கியம்ல. தேட தேவை, அப்பப்போ போட்டா வந்துருது. மீனிங் வந்து தூண்டுதல். தூண்டுதல். இம்பீட்டஸ்னா தூண்டுதல். உந்துதலா? முன்னேற்றத்திற்கு வழி. ரெண்டாவது வந்து இம்பேலிங் வந்து என்ன அர்த்தம்? தள்ளி விடுதலா, தூண்டுவது. ஓகே, இது ஒன்றும் புரியல இருக்கு தமிழ் அவ்வளவா. ஓகே, எனிவே இவ்வளவு தூரம் வந்தது பெரிய விஷயம். ஓகே, இது ஒரு மோட்டிவேஷன். சரியா, புரிஞ்சிருச்சு. அப்ப அடிப்படைன்னு ஒண்ணு இருக்கு. ரெண்டாவது நம்ம விடாமுயற்சி. அதாவது எனக்கு அதை அடைஞ்சே தீர வேண்டும், எனக்கு உடனே எனக்கு அந்த வைபவா அந்த அந்த அனுபவங்கள் எனக்கு வேணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு விடாமுயற்சியா மூவ் பண்றது. சரியா, ஓகே, ரைட் ரைட். தத் உக்தம் அக்னி புராணே அலங்கார செக்ஷன் 3.35. ஓகே, தத் உக்தம் அக்னி புராணத்துல அலங்கார செக்ஷன், அலங்கார இடத்துல வந்து 3.35ல அது பார்க்கிறோம். விபாவ்யவதே ஹி ரத்யாதிர் யத்ர ஏன விபாவ்யதே விபாவு நாம ச த்வேதாலம்ப நோட்டி பன்னாத்மகஹ. ஓகே, இதுல வந்து கோட்டிங் இன் Southern Ocean first wave text 55. Southern Ocean first wave text 55. Southern Ocean dane? Yes, Southern Ocean dane, right? Okay. So now they are quoting in from Agni Purana. So in Agni Purana there's a description of Vibhava is given. Okay, Vibhava Agni Purana enna solranga as follows. Okay, correct ah paapom. The basis from which ecstatic love is born. The basis na எந்த அடிப்படையில இருந்து இந்த 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 அனுபவம், இந்த என்னது, இந்த இந்த உற்சாகம், இந்த இந்த ராசா உருவாகுதோ. The basis from which the ecstatic love is born. From where it is born? Where? What is the cause? It's called Vibhava. Are you following me? The basis, the place or the platform where which the ecstatic love is born is called Vibhava. Are you all following me? Please, please. I'm very excited about it.
Prabhu,
Yes, Savan, are you-
Prabhu, just now you mentioned the impelling. What about the impetus, Prabhu? Giving.
Both same meaning, same meaning,
Same meaning.
same meaning. That's why they say
Yes.
impelling or impetus. There's the O, or இருக்குல்ல.
Oh,
பாத்தீங்களா, இந்த on இந்த வார்த்தை இருக்கு பாத்தீங்களா?
but they said this Vaibhava is divided into two.
Yes. What is the first one?
Basic and impelling.
Basic. First one is
Oh.
basic. Second was impelling. This is the second one.
Okay, okay. Correct.
Basic அடிப்படை இன்னொன்னு இருக்கு, இன்னொன்னு வந்து நம்ம உற்சாகமா இருக்கு. உற்சாகமா நம்ம அதை அடைய பார்க்கிறோம். Okay?
Okay, bro.
Or impelling, impetus, sometimes we can also say like charismatic. உற்சாகமா இருந்துகிட்டு அந்த மாதிரி. Okay. Okay, இப்ப ரெண்டாவது இது புரிஞ்சிருச்சா? The Agni Purana states that Vibhava is followed. The first is the basis from which the ecstatic love is born is called Vibhava. You got it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Devotees? Okay, you understand, eh? So Agni Purana mentioned the basis from where, எந்த சூழ்நிலை, எந்த இடத்திலிருந்து the ecstatic love is born, also called as Vibhava. Okay? But now, this Vibhava is divided into two, basic and impelling. Okay, divided into two, basic and impelling. Okay, like just now we have said, basic and impelling. Okay, in other words, there are two kinds of ecstatic love. You got it? So, முதல்ல verse தான் திருப்பி repeat பண்றாங்க. Right, the verse here, basic and impelling, is again repeated in Agni Purana. Right, Agni Puranathila is evident that's mentioned. So that means where the ecstatic love is born, the basis of that, or the impelling or the motivational factor. Okay, in other words, it's created. Okay, now, do you understand what I said? What is basis? What is impelling? Come on, let's talk. நான் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டேன். இப்போ நான் உங்களே பார்த்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன். பார்க்க எங்கடா என்னமோ போட்டிருந்தாரு காணமேனு. புரிஞ்சா நான் சொன்னது? ஹலோ, வாட் ஹேப்பன்? ஓகே, நீங்களா இன்னைக்கு உற்சாகமா இருக்கீங்களா டிவோஷனல் சர்வீஸ்ல? Are you all excited about devotional service? Come on, Vaishnav Prabhu, Sakhi Mataji, Nandari Mataji,
Yes,
Karpiya Mataji.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
உற்சாகமா இருக்கீங்களா? ஏன் உற்சாகமா இருக்கீங்க? Why are you so excited? Are you
Opportunity
excited?
கிடைக்குமான்னு
Huh?
தெரியாது பிரபு.
என்னது?
அந்த opportunity திருப்பி கிடைக்குமான்னு தெரியாது.
இல்ல அது ஒரு சைடுல இருக்கட்டும். அது வந்து நம்ம நினைக்கிறது. ஆனா வந்து உங்களுக்கு இந்த உற்சாகம் கொடுத்து இந்த மாதிரி பக்தி ஆக்குறது யாரு? சகி மாதாஜி.
Yes பிரபு.
ஏன் இவ்வளவு உற்சாகமா இருக்கீங்க? என்ன விஷயம்? You are inspired, right?
பக்தர் சங்கத்துல இருக்கோம் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் பிரபு.
Who inspire you? Who is that bhakta that inspire you?
குரு மகாராஜ்.
Exactly. குரு மகாராஜ் பார்த்த அந்த 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 அட்ராக்ஷன், அந்த வைப்ரேஷன் இன்னும் உடம்புல ஓடிட்டு இருக்கா இல்லையா?
In any situation one can read books, chanting and preach. சொல்லிட்டு கொடுத்துட்டாரு.
அது இருக்கட்டும். சொன்னது ஒரு சைடுல இருக்கட்டும். ஆனா குரு மகாராஜ்னு ஒருத்தர் இருக்காரு. அவரு கொடுத்த உற்சாகத்துல தான் இன்னும் ஓடிக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, ரைட்?
ஆமா பிரபு கண்டிப்பா.
அவரை பார்த்து சொந்தமா பார்த்து கிட்ட இருந்து சேவை செஞ்சு இப்பதான் இன்னும் 7 நாள் கூட ஆகல.
ஆமா பிரபு.
அந்த வைப்ரேஷன் இருக்குல்ல. சோ ஒரு வகையான இம்பீட்டஸ்னா உங்களை இன்ஸ்பயர் பண்றது யாரு? இப்ப சில நான் இன்ஸ்பயர் பண்றது யாரு? குரு or devotee inspiring you. சரியா? இன்னொன்னு வந்து எங்கேயோ ஒரு இடத்துல அடிப்படைன்னா என்னது? நம்ம கிடைச்ச ஞானம். ஓகே, நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில படாத பாடுபட்டுட்டோம். 64 லட்சம் 84 லட்சம் பிறவி எடுத்து வாங்காத அடி இல்ல. என்ன இவ்வளவு நாள் சேர்ந்து திடீர்னு இந்த வாய்ப்பு கிடைச்சிருக்கு. உற்சாகம். எஸ், பேசிக் or impetus. புரிஞ்சிருச்சா? You all, everyone understand? Put a thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying. அதான் basis or impetus. Kesavan understand? How about Nandari Mataji, Saras Mataji, Gandhi Mataji, Sadguna, Praja Prema, Vaishnav Prabhu? Great. Others?
Hare Krishna.
Gandhi Mataji? Yes.
Can you compare it to basis? Compare basis.
Basis. Okay, what is the basis of your excitement?
Basis is to know more, to learn more, to be Krishna consciousness, and what
Yes.
is the devotional service towards it.
Your push.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay,
that is the basis.
Yes. Second is,
The impetus
impetus means your own inspiration, your motivation to do it.
is not the same.
Of course, not the same. Of course, because first you learn from others, but of course you have to be inspired from your heart, right?
Okay. Oh, so you mean that basic feeling to know more, and then later the drive, the force in your own feeling heart. Okay. So that is
inspiration.
that is-
Impetus.
okay. Now I
That means impetus, the translation itself is inspiring. That means to act upon inspiration.
Prabhu, Prabhu, can I say something, Prabhu?
Yeah, definitely.
In Bhagavad Gita itself, in one of the chapters, they regarding a work, Prabhu. You want to do a work, the place, the endeavor, the senses, and the super soul. And for that to do the work, you must have impetus. There, the impetus is put as thinking, feeling, and willing.
Yes. Correct.
So that means that is impetus, Prabhu.
Yeah.
That I'm not able to understand the basic, Prabhu.
The basis. Okay, the basis we will go through. Because in the following chapters, we will study about the basis.
Okay, thank you.
Because I can't think of example. I can't think of any example. I mean, I don't know how to explain. But impetus. Do you understand impetus?
Impetus I understood very well.
Great.
Because
Thinking, willing.
have to do a work, you must have thinking, feeling, and willing, Prabhu.
Correct.
But then basic I'm not able to understand.
Okay, never mind. Basis we will discuss because we will see more examples so we can understand the basis in detail.
Thank you.
All right, but we understand, right? So what is the cause of vibhava? Two.
Sure.
What are they? Basis
And
and impetus. Okay, so far we understand this, huh?
very good.
Okay, everyone understand this in quite in detail, right? Okay, put a thumbs up. Okay, Gandhi Mataji, Kesavan, good. Nanda
Yes,
Devi Mataji.
Prabhu.
Okay, great. All right, Sadhuna, okay, Saki. So, இப்போ ஏன் சொல்றேன்னா இந்த விஷயத்தை மட்டும் we understand. விபாவாக்கு ரெண்டு விஷயம். One is basis, எங்கே ஒரு இடத்துல அடிப்படை. ரெண்டாவது வந்து உற்சாகம். All right, willing and training. Okay, okay, now, okay, there's a message. Oh, Gandhi Mataji put a thumbs up there. All right, okay. Now we understand that. Okay. Okay, now. So And what do you call that? These two kinds of ecstatic love. So that means through the basis or and impelling will be see. Okay. Now let's look at this. The next one. Tatra alambana. Okay, there's another thing. Alambana. Krishnascha Krishnas bhaktascha. Buddhir alambana mata. Ratyadir visayatvena. Tatadarayata yapicha. All right, it's quoting on 2.1.16. Okay, now, Prabhu, the thing is that the object of basis ecstatic love. Okay, what is that basis of ecstatic love? Is Krishna and his devotees. Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, very clear, Prabhu.
Okay, now you ask what is the basis. Now the basis is this. First is Krishna's bhaktas cha. Either Krishna or Krishna bhakta.
Fine.
All right.
Fine.
Okay, now first thing is we understand. Okay, the object of basic ecstatic is basic ecstatic love is Krishna and his devotee. So Lord Krishna is the object of basic ecstatic love. So we are all dovetailing everything to Krishna. We were so excited about Krishna. And his pure devotee are reservoir of such love. So Krishna is the subject, is the thing. But the one who keeps the reservoir, all right, the one who speaks about Krishna to give so much of nectarian hearing and understanding, who is keeping the reservoir? The reservoir of such love is kept by his pure devotee. I hope you're following. Okay, now his pure devotee, a reservoir of this thing, is the object of impelling ecstatic love. Okay, then impelling ecstatic love then is what love which develops when one sees the object which reminds him of Krishna. All right, okay, now let's look at this. Again, we go through the object of basic ecstatic. The object of basic ecstatic love. What is that object of basic ecstatic love? Is Krishna and his devotees. Krishna and his devotees. Krishna's cha, bhaktas cha. Krishna is the object. Is the ultimate goal. Okay, and that is the basic ecstatic love. Okay, the ultimate goal is to see Krishna. That's the real goal. That's the object. That is my aim. That's my ambition. Okay. And what happened to his pure devotee is the reservoir of such love. The pure devotee is the only one can reveal the secret. Like how Srila Prabhupada is explaining to us every sentence. What. So who's having the reservoir of pleasure? Prabhupada is keeping the secret. And we are understanding through Prabhupada. All right. So now, so the pure devotee is the reservoir of such love. And he's the one who are impelling ecstatic love. The one that gives you dose after dose of impelling, giving you dose after dose of that ecstatic love. Okay. And then through the impelling ecstatic love, by all the dosage, dose after dose, that means we can't take everything. We just take little until we go crazy. Right? So through the impelling, we start to develop love. This is what the love which develops. While hearing again and again and again and again, the love start to develop. Okay, and how the love develop? When he start to see the object. All right, sees the object. So when you keep hearing about it, when you start to see the object, you start to develop that love. And who is that object? That object that always reminds about Krishna. That things that always reminds him about Krishna. Okay. So far so good. All following me on this? Okay. Okay, great. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Tata Sri Krishna Nayakanam Siro Ratnam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Yatra Nityataya Sarve Virajante Mahaguna. Oh Krishna, beautiful. So Anya Rupa Swarupabhyam Asmin Alambano Mataha. please highlight. Wait, just give me a second. I'll remove all this. Okay. Please underline this thing or take a photo of this. Okay. Keep it. Okay. So keep it, and this is a very, very important statement. Before we could even go to Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the summum bonum of the real secret, the ultimate secret. The ultimate secret is quoted in 2.1.17. Please remember this by heart. Tatra, because even Palastudi, even Srimad Palastudi also, Krishna's okay, there's a verse. But here we are studying about this. Tatra Sri Krishna, Nayakanam Shiro Ratnam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Tat Yatra Nityataya Sarve Virajante Mahaguna. Okay. I should take a photo of this. Okay. So it says, Lord Krishna, who is the possessor? Who Krishna is the, okay, first thing is Krishna is the possessor. That means he's the owner of inconceivable potencies. That means the potency that cannot be conceived in our intelligence, through our intelligence. Our intelligence only limited to certain level. But this is inconceivable. You cannot understand. You can't grasp inconceivable potency, all kind of potencies or energy. Potency means energy. It is inconceivable not only by us. Even it's inconceivable. It cannot be even understood by even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. Right? It can't be even understood by sometimes by great saints, acharyas. It's very inconceivable. And sometimes it can't be even understood by Krishna himself. Even Krishna himself doesn't know why I'm having all these energies. Why people crazily love me. He himself don't understand. The one who only understands is Srimati Radharani. That's how to understand that he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyway, so inconceivable potency. Krishna is the possessor of inconceivable potency and qualities. Okay, this is the first point and the second point. Inconceivable potencies and qualities. Of what? Of transcendental knowledge and bliss. He is the of transcendental knowledge and also bliss. And these are the basic cause of ecstatic love. So the basic cause of the ecstatic love is inconceivable potency and qualities. All right. Okay. Lord Krishna also sometimes also becomes a reservoir of impetus of ecstatic love. Sometimes Krishna also becomes the reservoir. He's the one who becomes the dam, the big, huge water body reservoir. In Malay, we call as empangan. They have empangan of ecstatic love. Krishna also become an empangan, or in Tamil, what we call it, Tamil என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க? Dam. Tamil என்ன சொல்லுவாங்களே?
அணைக்கட்டு பிரபு.
Anaikattu, right. So, under such a fantastic, my God, look at this, my children. Right. So, it becomes Anaikattu. Become a reservoir of ecstatic love. How? By his different incarnation and expansion. That means he is the one that comes and gives you so much of joy. All right. Becomes a reservoir and gives you, supply you ecstatic love through his different incarnation. Pala vidhamana avadarangal, pala vidhamana thotrangal. Okay. He start to give this thing. So, அதான் சொல்றாங்க நாயக்கனம் Shiro Ratnam. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the supreme original personality. Okay. Now, okay, now this thing. Anya Rupena Yata. Hanta me katam udeti. Sa vatse. Vatsapala patale ratir atra. Itya nishchitta matir baladevo. Baladevo. Vishmayas tibita murtir ivasit. Okay, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a statement in connection with Brahma Vimohana Leela. Srimad Bhagavatam, the statement in connection with Brahma Vimohana Leela, which demonstrates something of impelling or impetus. Now let's talk about impelling. That's why we spoke about basis. Basis means Krishna and his devotees are the basis. Now talking about impelling or impetus. That means the motivation or inspiration. All right. So it's quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam under the connection of Brahma Vimohana Leela. Okay. That says that giving features of ecstatic love. Okay. Like that. Okay. Now first thing is when Brahma was deluded by Krishna. Okay. Brahma was deluded. Okay. Tricked by Krishna by who expand himself into so many cowherd boys and calves and cows. Krishna's elder brother, Sri Baladev, direct explanation, Krishna himself, felt astonishment and said, all right. So first thing is, Brahma knew that Vishnu is taking an avatar. He's going to start to come because he's going to kill Kamsa. But Brahma didn't know where the Lord going to appear. But in Vrindavan, he start to see this young boy seems to be very powerful. Right? And you know what he did? Brahma will kidnap all the Gopals and the cows. He will kidnap all the friends and the cows and keep it somewhere. When Krishna realized this, Krishna personally expand himself into many cowherd boys and calves and even cows. Okay? This thing, even Balaram, who is the first expansion of Krishna. All right? The first Purusha, the first expansion of Krishna, okay, also surprised. All right, also surprised. He said, Balaram said, how wonderful, he said, how wonderful is that my ecstatic love for Krishna is again being attracted by so many cowherd boys and calves and cows. Even his own expansion, right, were ecstatic about Krishna. Krishna to the Uruvavana Totram, Balaram, and he says, how wonderful is that my ecstatic love for Krishna. He start to feel so much ecstatic love for Krishna. He's again being attracted by so many cowherd boys, calves and cows. Because when he start to see the cowherd boys, the Gopals, Madu Mekaravar, second, the cow, Pasu and Kannukutti. Even Balarami Patri, enna adu enakku paakradhukku romba Krishnar mela enakku innum anbu uruvaagura maari irukke. Yaru யோசிச்சது பலராம் யோசிச்சாரு. பலராம் கிருஷ்ணாவோட எக்ஸ்பென்ஷன், அவரோட தோற்றம், அந்த தோற்றம் இன்னொரு தோற்றத்தை பார்த்திருக்கு. அதாவது அவர்கிட்ட இருந்து தோணுனது, கிருஷ்ணன் தோணுனது பலராம். இன்னொரு இடத்துல கிருஷ்ணன் தோணுனது யாரு? கோபால், அவரோட நண்பர்கள், அதே நேரத்துல பசு, கண்ணுக்குட்டி. ஏன் அப்படி தோணுனாரு? ஏன்னா அந்த உண்மையான பசு, நண்பன், கண்ணுக்குட்டியை வந்து என்ன செய்ய பிரம்மர் எடுத்து ஒளி வச்சிட்டாரு, எடுத்து கடத்திட்டாரு. இது கடத்திட்டு போனோன்னே கிருஷ்ணன் தெரிய, நீ தான் கடத்திட்டியா, பரவாயில்ல, நீ கடத்திட்ட. இப்ப நான் அவரே கண்ணுக்குட்டியா மாறுறாரு, அவரே பசுக்களா மாறுறாரு, அவரே கோபால்களா மாறுறாரு. எதுக்கு அப்படி மாறுறாரு? ஏன்னா திருப்பி விருண்டானுக்கு போனோன்னே அவங்க கூட பிறந்த அவங்க அந்த பிரஜாவாசி, சரியா, இவங்களா பார்த்து ஐயோ என் பிள்ளை எங்க காணா போச்சு யாரும் பதறக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லி இவரே தோன்றாரு. அப்ப ஒரு இடத்துல இவர் என்ன தோன்றாரு? பசுக்களா, கண்ணுக்குட்டியா, கோபால்களா தோன்றாரு. இந்த சைட்ல பலராம் யாரு? இவர் இன்னொரு தோற்றம். அப்ப இந்த தோற்றமும் பேசிக்கிறாங்க. அப்ப இந்த தோற்றம் பலராம் பார்த்து அந்த தோற்றத்தை பாக்குறாரு. இந்த கண்ணுக்குட்டி, பசு, கோபால் சொல்றாரு, ஏன் என்னாச்சு, எப்படி அதிசயம், ஆச்சரியமா இருக்க, என்னோட அந்த அதாவது அந்த கோபால், அந்த பசு, அந்த கண்ணுக்குட்டியை பாக்குறதுக்கு பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு கிருஷ்ணர் மேல இன்னும் அன்பு உருவாகுதே, எப்படி? He's again being attracted by so many cows. Why? My ecstatic love by Krishna, the love for Krishna is increasing by looking at all the cows, calf and gopals. How wonderful is that? And he was struck with wonder by thinking in this way. அவர் யோசிச்சுக்கிட்டே அவர் யோசனையில அவரே ஆச்சரியப்படுறாரு. எப்படி நடக்குது? ஆச்சரியமா இருக்க, ஒன்னும் புரியலையே. Okay, so this is one example of which Krishna himself becomes the object and reserve of ecstatic love or impelling aspect. So இது ஒரு உதாரணம். எப்படி கிருஷ்ணா வந்துட்டு அவரே அவரு அடைக்கட்டம் என்ன சொன்னீங்க? ரிசர்வ் ஆஃப் அம்பங்கன். So அவரே he himself become the reservoir of ecstatic love. Okay, so far so good. Is it too heavy? You all okay? Put a thumbs up if you understand. Don't worry, I want to ask you a question. Now people are worried. Suddenly I'm going to... Kesavan, you got it, Kesavan? Gandhi Mataji? Sadguna Mataji? Okay. Okay, great. Huh? So that means how Krishna himself becoming attractive. So there is one example of how Krishna himself is becoming the attractive. He's become the reservoir of pleasure. Okay. All right. So now 8:34. So now, my dear Prabhus and mothers, we have discussed something which is very, very detailed. I know some of you had triggered your thinking capacity. நம்ம யோசனை இதுல இப்ப மைண்ட் வெட்டிக்கிற லெவலுக்கு நம்ம யோசிச்சிருப்போம், ஆழமா போயிருப்போம். சரியா? ஆமா இல்லையா? Is it very heavy to understand? ஆனா இந்த கஷ்டமான விஷயத்தை நான் முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு சுலபமா நான் உங்ககிட்ட டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றேன். தெரியும்ல, மம்மது வெயிட்டிங். ஓகே, அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். நீங்களா ஸ்டண்ட், ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ ஸ்டண்ட். ஐயோ, என்னடா இது, என் தலையே சுத்தி போச்சு. ஆமாவா? ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா. Come on, say something.
Prabhu, if you are reading alone, very difficult to understand.
But now, do you reading along with us?
Yeah, with your explanation becomes very easy.
Okay.
Alone means it has been terribly difficult.
Okay. I think Saki Mataji has already gone to Radhayatra. Okay, never mind. Okay. Now, how about others? Kesavan, Saras Mataji, Sarguna Mataji, Gandhi Mataji, Nanda Devi Mataji.
Extra, not so heavy, Prabhu. Okay,
Not so heavy.
You go slowly, then okay, Prabhu.
இல்ல, ஏன்னா இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் அட்ராக்ஷனா இருக்கானா கொஞ்சம் மைண்ட் ட்ரிகர் பண்ணுதா?
Yes, Prabhu. But we go slowly, then we can slowly catch up.
Yeah, slowly go better.
ஓகே. இன்னைக்குள்ள சப்ஜெக்ட் மேட்டர் என்னது? வாட் இஸ் தி டேக் அவே? கிருஷ்ணர் தோற்றம். முதல் தோற்றம் பசு, கண்ணுக்குட்டி, சக்கா நண்பர்கள், சகா நண்பர்கள். இன்னொரு இடத்துல பலராம். இந்த பலராம் இந்த நண்பர்களை, அவருக்கும் நண்பன் தான். இந்த பசுவை, இந்த கண்ணுக்குட்டியை பார்க்கும்போது என்னடா இவ்வளவு என்னோட பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காரு, ஆனா இன்னைக்கு என்ன ஆச்சரியமா இருக்கு தெரியலையே, இவரை பார்த்து இவ்வளவு அவங்க பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு கிருஷ்ணர் மேல இன்னும் இன்பம் உருவாகுதே. அப்ப என்னன்னா கிருஷ்ணரே அவரு அணைக்கட்டு, அவரே ஹோல்டிங் தி ரிசர்வ் ஆஃப் ஆல் பிளஷர். சரியா? ஓகே. சோ இதோட ஐ திங்க் வித் திஸ் மெடிடேஷன் வி ஸ்டாப் ஹியர். ஏன்னா இதுக்கு மேல போனோம்னா இன்னும், ஏன்னா இந்த விஷயத்த மட்டும் இன்னைக்கு உட்காந்து யோசிங்க, நல்லா கவனிங்க. நிறைய இடத்துல நம்ம கோட் பண்ணுவோம், திருப்பி இதை படிக்க பாருங்க. நாளைக்கு ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமை ராத்திரி 7 மணிக்கு 7:30 மணிக்கு நம்ம மீட் பண்ணுவோம். நம்ம சாப்டர் 21 ஆரம்பிப்போம். ஏன்னா இந்த சாப்டர் 21ல கிருஷ்ணரோட குணங்கள், எத்தனை குணங்கள்? 64 வகையான குணங்கள் இருக்கு. 64 குவாலிட்டிஸ். இந்த கிருஷ்ணரோட குணங்கள், அவரோட உடல்ல இருக்கிற இதெல்லாம் நம்ம நாளைக்கு கண்டு ரசிக்க போறோம். ஏன்னா இதை கண்டு ரசிக்கும் போது என்ன ஆக போகுது, நம்மளுக்கு இந்த என்ன சொல்றது, இந்த என்ன ராஸ் இது? விபாவா. என்ன ராஸ் சொன்னோம்? என்ன ராஸ் பத்தி படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம்? வாட் ராஸ் we are talking about? Okay, விபாவா. So முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு tomorrow we can try to enjoy. Okay, first we start to experience that vibhava. Okay, okay, நாளைக்கு இந்த விபாவா நம்ம நாளைக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஆழமா பார்க்கலாம். ஓகே, விபானா என்னது, இதுல என்னென்ன இருக்கு, எது இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம ஓகே, ஸ்டாப் ஷேரிங். Okay, so we're going to look at that. So tomorrow we're going to do chapter 21, the qualities of Sri Krishna. So I don't, I can do now, but I don't want to rush. I want you to experience, or I just want you to contemplate what we have studied today. Tomorrow night, we're going to meet, we're going to discuss on chapter 21 of the Southern Ocean. Till then, any questions, any comment? All good? இன்னைக்கு ஈவினிங்னால ரொம்ப நல்ல வேலையா இருக்கீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Okay. All right. There's no question. There's no comment. We end the session here. Right. So we meet again tomorrow night. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Gauranga.